That's not a problem because this thing do happen. He actually left in good time. Unfortunately, that little hitch there. Thank you to all of you for making the contribution on the lead where we just looked briefly at Anambra election. I'm hoping tomorrow I will get an electoral observer and we will try to do a full analysis of the Anambra election. But you've given your thoughts and your comments. Thank you so much. This is a message here from Obidiaman Emeka, who said, congratulations to Professor Chukuma Soludo for his re-election on Saturday. I was there to witness the election in my dear loving state. The fact that last Saturday's election is heavily hammered with massive vote buying. Party agents were seen with raw cash, lobbying voters with financial inducement. In some words, a single vote went up as high as 15,000 naira per vote. In some cases, 10K, and in remote areas, they paid 5K to 8K. So at millions of naira, if not billions, were paid to voters in different polling units cutting across the state, and they cannot deny it. You go ahead to say the election is highly peaceful, which is plus to the system and INEC. They tried, and kudos to all security personnel deployed in the state. They did a fantastic job. I saw a policeman chatting and having a nice conversation with a voter, and you could see the smile. In fact, I'm highly satisfied in terms of security. As for uploading of election result, it was prompt and real time. I followed. I'm on that server throughout the process. Kudos to INEC in this era, but can they make it happen in the upcoming presidential election in 2027 is the big question begging for a good answer. Thank you, Obedient Man, for your observation. That is being on ground and telling us what you saw. It's a good one. Muhammad Musa said, good morning, Havukul Majesty. There's improvement, especially the uploading, as we're told. For some people, the election will never be credible except their most preferred candidate wins, which is illogical. We have the idea that there is no opposition, which is not true. It has never happened. Our target is the president, and we will succeed. All right. I don't know what you mean by your target is the president and you will succeed. But if you mean to say that our presidential election will be better, then we will join to say amen to that. All right. So I will be calling my guest, Mr. Folarin, in a bit. We will get started on the conversation. Please don't go anywhere. Yes, it's an amazing time to be alive, and it's 14 minutes past 8. I have with me via the phone my guest this morning who is stuck in traffic, Mr. Adefalari Olamilekon. I'm so sorry about what is currently happening, but good morning to you.
Good morning. Thanks for having me. Good morning.
All right. Good morning. Mr. Folarin is a political economist. He also doubles as a journalist himself, a broadcast journalist, and we're glad to have you this morning. Now, Mr. Folarin, I'm sure you have been following up. I mean, you're in Nigeria, so you know what is currently ongoing in the country with regards to, let's start with the threat of the United States, okay? Now, let me just read this out to you. The U.S. military has developed 3 potential intervention plans for Nigeria, having designated our country, Nigeria, as a country of particular concern. He also threatened to come in with the troops, from the U.S. and attack the terrorists if something is not done based on the allegation of Christian genocide. Then shortly after that, the U.S. developed 3 potential intervention plans for Nigeria following an order from President Donald Trump, who cited the need to protect Christians from attack by Islamic militant groups. And these plans, prepared by U.S. Africa Command, submitted to the Pentagon include the light, medium, and heavy options. Now, the light options involve partner-enabled operations where U.S. military and State Department personnel will support Nigerian forces in targeting groups like Boko Haram and ISWAP. And then the medium option includes drone strikes on military camps, convoys, and bases in northern Nigeria. Though this is complicated, this is complicated by the U.S. military's withdrawal from drone base in Nigeria in August 2025. And then also the heavy option envisions deploying an aircraft carrier to the Gulf of Guinea and using fighter jets to long-range bombers for deep strike inside Nigeria. So these are the plans, and it seems the U.S. will not waste time. Now, you are an economist, and I would want to know how you relate the U.S. threats to come into Nigeria to fight the terrorists. Side by side, the Nigerian economy. Already we're having the news about the stock market losing up to 2.3 trillion and other developments, which we will talk about, by the way, as the conversation goes on. So what's your take?
Very interesting topic and very sensitive topic. I will also say. For the two questions, it remains that the threat came at the point whereby Nigerian economy is now undergoing a recovery and a stabilization in our FX market, in our stock market, as well as a bit of increase in our external reserve. So all these our economic fundamentals have been enjoying some laudable improvement in the last 2 years under President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. But the threat has come in a way to show how stabilized the economy will be, how prepared is the economy going to, accept and take into all the shocks that will be available as a result of the threat. So for me as an economist and as a Nigerian, I think the threat for the economy, let me start with the economy. For the economy is not prepared for such a threat and such a shock because we are still undergoing recovery. And as a Nigerian, in terms of our diversity, our society, the instability that we have faced, it has come to say that because of the failure of government in tackling insecurity in Nigeria, this threat has come as a wake-up call for the government. So in two ways, for the economy is not prepared for this kind of threat because the shock and uncertainty around the economy cannot take this kind of shock. But for the Nigerian state as a whole, they have failed woefully in tackling the insecurity. I think it's a wake-up call with this threat that has come. And that's how I can really put this thing in two perspectives. One, for the economy is not prepared for this threat at all because the shock and uncertainty of it cannot absorb the threat. Then for the government, I think it's a wake-up call for them to tackle the security challenges headlong.
Okay. Let me further probe what you said. First of all, you said Nigerian, this is coming at a wrong time when there seems to be a little improvement in the economy. And then now this is coming and Nigeria is not prepared. The Nigerian economy is not prepared for the shocks. What are some of those likely shocks that this U.S. threat may bring upon the Nigerian economy? Is it in terms of inflation? What exactly are we talking about when we say shocks?
The first shock that is coming is basically for all the FDI and FPI. What are the FDI? What are the FPI? The FDI are the foreign direct investment that the current government have been trying to bring into the country.
Yeah.
With a lot of traveling here and there, with a lot of bilateral agreement, multilateral agreements, with countries and individuals, groups and the rest of them that the government is trying to attract. Then the FPI, the foreign portfolio investment, if you recall, the Nigerian government have been enabled to get some funding, share bonds, euro bonds, dollar bonds, and these two segments I've just mentioned now, FPI and FDI, they are so subtle to threat. They are not, those kind of economic fundamentals are not likely to absorb threat. So for Nigerian case, our economy under these two fundamentals, FDI and FPI, have been enjoying a bit of stability, a bit of improvement, I say. But with this kind of threat, it will definitely discourage investors. You did mention earlier in your intro about Nigerian stock market. I watched Nigerian stock market for since the beginning of this threat seriously, because I also talk about Nigerian economy, there the stock market, and from Monday, last week Monday to Friday last week, the stock went bearish, meaning that there was no profit taking, there was no gain. A stock market that we normally have 27, 30 gainers in a day, 40 gainers in a day, we now started recording 10 gainers, 7 gainers, 15 gainers. Meanwhile, on the losing side, the stock was recording 40, 45 losers. So what that portends is that the stock market has already reacted negatively to the threat of Donald Trump's invasion or attack on terrorist groups.
Okay.
Secondly, FPI, foreign direct investors who are already prepared to come to Nigeria and put their money, as we speak right now, most of them will hold on. They want to put their money into an economy where America wants to come and do one or two things in terms of security. So they have hold on. And although, luckily for us, before the threat came, the federal government had an euro bond that was being expected, and that euro bond performed, impressively and respectfully. And that's why you see that the president was celebrating our Nigerian.
Exactly. I was going to ask that question about that euro bond thing, but interestingly, you're bringing it up. So go ahead, please.
So the president was celebrating euro bond. But what Nigerians don't know is that euro bond has already recorded in stock state before the threat of Donald Trump came.
Okay.
If you reverse it, the threat came about a month ago. The celebration of that euro bond would have happened. What I'm trying to say is that the threat has affected some fundamentals of the economy, and it will go a long way before it will recover. And that recover, as many economists like Bahumbutev are saying, that recover may come maybe at the second quarter of 2026, because a lot of business interests who are posing to come to Nigeria between now and first quarter of 2026 are already having a change of mind. And that alone is having a negative numeric on how the economy will be. Although we can't isolate the Nigerian foreign exchange market, Naira has been stabilized in the last few months. Naira against pounds is now 1,864. Naira against dollar is now 1,436. That is quite interesting. But the key question that many economists are now asking is that after this threat, how are we going to ensure? Because what have made Naira to be stabilized in the last 1 year under President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, it was because of our external reserves that have been increasing on daily basis. As we speak right now, it's over $43 billion in external reserves that jumped up from 36 as of last year to 46. So if this threat continues to roll down Nigeria economy, we may not have much increase in external reserves. And that will also speak to our brothers and sisters who are spending money through diaspora remittances. They may also hold back because investment in all key sectors of the economy are already having an effect, because many people want to come and build out if they come to Nigeria for December celebration, are already thinking twice. Yes, so all this will definitely have an impact on the Nigerian economy. But we just hope that things can turn around and this threat can be stopped and it's not happening as put out by President Donald Trump.
Okay. We also have it on record that Nigeria's gross profit from crude oil and gas sales plunged by 824.66 billion. It's like about, let's see, what's the percentage? Okay, it plunges by 43%. Do you associate that with what we're talking about currently? And then also, I still want to examine the issue of the stock market recording a significant downturn in the last 5 days as investors exchange lost a massive 2.8 trillion between November 3rd and November 7th. We will interrogate this after this quick commercial. I'll call you back. Please, let's take this commercial.
All right.
I had to switch out. The future of power in Africa is solar, and the Solar World Electric Technology Limited continues to champion the campaign for increased solar and inverter usage in Nigeria with our Black Friday mega sales. Get a whopping 10% discount on any solar or inverter system purchased from us during this Black Friday season and enjoy for yourself a world of uninterrupted power supply. Offer ends 6 p.m. Friday, the 28th of November 2025. Visit us at the Silverbed Entertainment Center, Central Business District, Abuja, or www.solarworldelectric.com or call 0906 331 5492. 0906 331 5492. Solar World Electric Technology Limited. We are redefining the limits.
Is an infomercial. Are you planning to hop on a plane to visit family or friends anytime soon? Maybe you're heading to a celebration or meeting a new member of the family. It's always such a special time to reunite with loved ones. But what can make the whole experience even more special is when the journey is memorable too. Now that's where Emirates comes in. I'm guessing you want to arrive refreshed and ready to share stories and catch up on lost time. So all you need to do is simply sit back and relax in total comfort on the way. You'll be spoiled for choice when it comes to entertainment with up to 6,500 channels. If you miss the latest Hollywood release, catch it on board on some of the biggest screens in the skies. It'll feel just like you're at the movies. Or enjoy some uninterrupted time to binge watch your favorite comedy series. You can even scroll through your socials and make plans for when you arrive. Perhaps your team is playing while you're in the air? Don't worry, it'll probably be live on ice. And if you're traveling with little ones, they definitely wouldn't be bored on board. They get their own dedicated TV and movie channels, over 250 of them. And they'll enjoy take-home toys and goodies to feed their imagination. Guess what? That's not all. They can even enjoy their own special meals, perfectly designed for little taste buds. And while they tuck into their tasty meals, you'll be dining on multiple courses of regionally inspired gourmet cuisine, all served with free-flowing drinks. I won't tell anyone if you want to start on dessert first. And if you're planning to pack in some thoughtful gift to pass on when you arrive, the generous Emirates baggage allowance makes that a breeze. You get so much more in Emirates economy. You can fly Emirates from Lagos to over 150 destinations, including Dubai, India, the UK, and the US. Head over to Emirates.com to book now and start your amazing journey.
that season of the year again, and the Green Cluster Solar Limited, Nigeria's leading name in the provision of affordable power and renewable energy solutions, is here again with amazing Black Friday offers. Get a free solar floodlight for any solar generator, power station, or solar inverter system purchased from us between the 7th and 28th of November 2025. Visit us at www.greenclustersolarlimited.com or suite FFC20 and suite FFC21, first floor, Mall of Dubai, Gimbia Street, Area 11, Gariki, Abuja, or call 0707 616 9908. Green Cluster Solar Limited. Go solar the most affordable way.
This is Morning Crossfire.
This is an infomercial. The unisex fragrance Wazobia perfume is available in both perfume and body spray. Wazobia perfume comes in cartons of 24 bottles and the body spray is available in cartons of 48. For retail and wholesale purchases, contact us at email contact@wazobiacosmetics.ng or call us on 0201 330 0047. Our team is ready to assist you with your orders. Wazobia perfume, the correct scent. Your new signature fragrance is just a call or click away. Authentic, unisex, confidence, Wazobia.
This is Morning Crossfire.
This is Morning Crossfire. Crossfire on 95.1 Nigeria Info.
All right, thank you so much for staying with us. It's 8:33 a.m. trying to make that reconnection with Mr. Folarin, and we are looking at the Nigerian economy, how it will be affected by the series of events ongoing, from the U.S. threats to the borrowing threshold that we are told has been exceeded. And I think I have Mr. Folarin back online. Thank you so much for rejoining me, Mr. Folarin.
Thanks for having me.
Okay, so I asked two questions about the crude sales plunging by 43%, and then also the issue on the stock market. We wanted to understand how come, the losses are going on, because it says Trump, it actually attributed though to Trump's threats sparking massive sell-off in the Nigerian stock market as investors lose over about 2.8 trillion naira, which is quite a lot. Do you think the dip in the crude sales has anything connected to that? And then secondly, this investors' loss on the Nigerian stock market, just how bad is it? And basically, help us understand more.
I think let's start with the crude oil sales.
Yes.
I think in recent time, in the last 1 month now, we have discovered that crude oil price has been in deficit, in the sense that there has been a push from OPEC and OPEC Plus, and there's also been a push from the likes of US, particularly Donald Trump push that he's going to overflow the international crude oil market with a lot of US crude, that is Western Texaco intermediate crude oil of the US. And because of that, there's been a blip in terms of the price falling drastically. As we speak right now, the Brent crude oil, which is number one in the world, is $60.28 at this point in time. Then WTI, which is the American brand of crude oil, is $57.32. The meanwhile, OPEC Plus, which Nigerian body like also is a category, is selling at just $59.48. What it shows is that the crude oil price is dropping, and sales around the world is also dropping. And don't forget that there's been alternatives across the world, particularly like the likes of China. They are now embracing more use of electrical cars, and other parts of Europe embracing electrical cars. So it's also affecting the price of crude oil.
Okay.
And let me also forget to mention quickly the geopolitical tension and the sanctions being imposed on Russia, particularly
yes.
that the likes of India must not buy Russian crude. It's also having an effect on the price of crude. Now, Just suppose this with Nigerian crude that we normally sell to the likes of US, India, China, and the rest of them. They are finding alternative markets and they are finding alternative buyers. So for Nigerian crude, the stock has been for a very long time not being assessed, particularly as our original buyers like China are looking at other places where they can get crude. And that's how really affected Nigerian crude sales.
I mean, there's also the threat that we might have sanctions from the U.S., which I'm sure may also affect our sale of crude to whether the U.S. or other countries too. I mean, do you have any fears for us with regards to that? I mean, we saw the sanction on Russia, and apart from the military strike on terrorists, like Trump said, he said he will cut aid, and then also there will be sanctions. So, what are we looking at?
The thing is that both either military sanction or economic sanction, Nigeria can withstand both from US. And you know, when US put their sanction out, all the US allies
will have to,
all the traditional Nigerian partners by all also will follow. So we can't withstand both the economic sanctions that could come from US or their military action. But the aspect of our crude oil not being meeting up with the national sales is not because we are not having enough crude. But the biggest challenge we have been having in Nigeria is that we don't store our crude. We don't have storage facilities for our crude. What we do is that we moment it is exploited, we go straight into the ship. From the ship, we go straight to the buyer. And that's how Nigerians have been operating. And because of that, when they now say, okay, we don't have our food that are not being on sale, countries that enjoy high sales in food, they also have high capacity volume of storage.
yes.
But in Nigeria, we don't store our stock. So when we explore all the multinationals that airports through NNP joint ventures, once they exploit the crude, they just sell it direct through the ship and go to the buyer. Not that it stay on the sea for a long time to be sold, but it just goes straight to the buyer. And we also recall that they now did this joint venture arrangement that our food have been sold up front. And one thing I discovered about the current government is that they are looking for opportunity to exist this 5 years crude upfront sales under the last NNPC management. And that's why they are taking all manner of measures to ensure that they finish with that policy and they are able to start afresh with a new policy that will allow Nigerians to stock crude and sell it in a very good market. And that's what is happening. But on the other side, the second part of the question about stock market, Nigerian stock market in the last 5 years has been dominated by local participants. What I mean by local participants, we are talking about local investors. The numbers of foreign investors in Nigerian stock market are less than 20%. And the reason is because the stock market is not indigenous. Companies from various aspects of the economy are not participating. And for foreigners who are participating in the Nigerian stock market, in the capital market, I would say, not the equity market, they focus on aspects of commercial papers and bonds. If you see foreigners participating in Nigerian capital market or money market, they focus on the ones that yield faster. Get it? So they are not putting their money in the stock market as well. Local participants have seen a lot of Nigerians are not participating in the Nigerian equity market, although also known as stock market. And the reason why many the stock market experienced negative last week is not just because of Trump threat. It has other factors. One of the factors locally was that this is the end of the year whereby companies are now releasing their end of their third quarter report of how they have performed from last year June to this year June. So CBN have given them the signal to all of them to release the report. And the report will indicate that investors should have their gains being given to them or their dividends being given to them. So a lot of investors that the company they invested on are started giving them their pay check on their dividends. Most of them are taking their money out.
Okay.
Most of them are taking their money out of the stock market and looking for other opportunities where they can invest their money. So it wasn't just the threat of Trump alone that signaled that red flag.
Okay.
Also because people are taking their profit and their gains out of the market. And again, others who are supposed to bring in money into the stock market are also holding their money into their pocket because there are some companies that refuse to pay their dividends because to their own understanding, they didn't make much space that they want to give out to their shareholders. Rather, they want to put the money back into the businesses. And those who have money to invest in those companies are thinking that if you do not pay people this year for their dividends, how do you expect them to come and put money in your in your company.
In your companies.
That's so that the local
All right.
factors that is contributing to the negative aspect of the stock market. And
Okay.
I will quickly say here, there are some companies that are performing brilliantly. The consumer sector in the Nigerian stock market are doing greatly. The manufacturing sector, industrial sector are doing greatly. And don't forget, the banks are the top notch in the Nigerian stock market because they are doing brilliantly. But what we are just saying is that let them pay their shareholders, and that will also mean that many people will bring their money into the stock market. But if they don't pay them, nobody wants to come and bring their money into the stock market.
All right. I think you've done a very wonderful and brilliant job at giving us those analysis. We have a very short time to go, and I need to take one or two calls. So in the shortest possible time, can you also help us understand the federal government, which is now reported to have borrowed 17.36 trillion from domestic foreign sources in the first 10 months of this year, which represents 6.06 trillion, which is a 55.6% in excess of the 10.9 trillion stipulated in the 2025 Appropriation Act on 10 months prorate basis. Before these borrowings even passed this, threshold, there was rejoicing that the president had said, we don't need to do any domestic borrowing. We had settled some debts. And, it looked like things were improving. And then here we are again with the recent proposal for over $1 trillion domestic borrowing, and then also some billions of dollars foreign loans and all of that. So, seeing that we've passed this threshold, what do we say about this? What does this also portend for the economy? Just make it as short as possible. We will find time and really break this down into bits and pieces. But just help us understand this.
So what I would just say is that I'm sad. The Nigerian government is not educating Nigerians on its borrowing parameters. These things are not confusing. They are as simple as ABC. But because we don't have communication managers on the part of the government who only dwell on the technicality of this borrowing without making it simple for people to understand. The recent 1.17 trillion they want to borrow from the local sources are two bonds and treasury papers. They are not something that is hard to understand. As you said, we'll find time so we can educate Nigerians on the borrowing parameter of government, so that it is not something that is too burdensome for government to educate Nigerians on this, rather than allowing a third party to create panic and some misinformation within their borrowing rate.
But are we in a bad place? Are we in a bad place when it comes to borrowing? Are we in a bad place in Nigeria when it comes to borrowing?
Sir?
Are we in a bad place?
We are not. The only thing is that the only challenge that we have with our borrowing is that when government borrows, tell the citizens what you are borrowing for specifically, and let them show them the one you are borrowed for and what you are using for this to do. Like this current 1.17 they want to borrow, it is for infrastructure and it is bond. It is a borrow that will also give back to Nigeria in dividends. But nobody is telling Nigeria the right thing. They are just dwelling on technicality. And I'm so sad. It's just few of us in the media that are trying to break this down in a simple way that Nigerians can understand. But the majority of our media houses, because government spokespersons are not telling them the right way to inform Nigerians on this borrowing scheme.
All right.
It's not as bad as it is being painted.
Because seeing that we have surpassed the threshold, so many people will begin to ask questions as to when we have a threshold. That was what happened in the last administration, with the Ways and Means. There is a law on ground that this is what is allowed, but then going overboard and looking at the consequences. Of course, that's why we have to ask this question as to whether this is also taking us to the same place. Is this sounding very familiar? What exactly does this mean? But like I said, we'll take our time and really break this down into bits and pieces. Mr. Fulari, any final comments before I let you go?
The final comment is that for me, let the government begin to engage Nigerians in a simplified communication way. Don't dwell too much on the technicality of the economic policy and programs. It confuses Nigerians. It gives room for chaos. It gives room for misleading information. But many people are just interpreting your economic policy in a wrong way. And but for those of us that understand it, they are simple as ABC. And Nigerians can understand it and pass the information to them in a right way, in a simplified way, without too much of technicality.
All right.
I'll just advise the government.
Thank you so much, Mr. Folarin. Really appreciate you, Mr. Ade Folarin Olamileko. is a political economist, very brilliant one at that, and also doubles as a broadcast journalist. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a wonderful day, sir.
Thank you, and thank you to all our listeners out there.
All right, appreciate. Okay, let's take the calls. Let's take the calls and your reaction before we round up on Morning Crossfire. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
You're welcome.
Mr. Swat.
Yes.
Napia. Compliment of the season.
Same to you.
My name is Musa.
Okay.
Sometimes when people who claim to be economists come to give us positive narrative, positive speeches about reforms and about the economy of Nigeria, sometimes they go behind to know that there was something called COVID-19 that shut down the whole economy of this world. It was not just only Nigeria or the past administration. The whole world economy nosedived. And the whole world economy is beginning to revive all over the world, not just only Nigeria. That is one aspect of it. Second aspect of it is that all these positive indices, Nigerian government is making money, they are making savings. It's not by magic. All of us are paying for it. I'm sure if this man drove his car out today, he has paid more money to the government than he would have been paid before 2 years ago. So what we are saying is that it's not a magic. All the masses are the one paying this money. All the masses are the one paying these revenues. So when some people claim to be economists and they'll come and speak, and by the time you begin to listen at their names, you now know that now them who want to belong there, who just want to give positive indices for this thing. There's no magic. Let everybody look individually. Is there any progress economically?
All right.
I mean, is there any positive economically? Nobody is making any progress economically, except all these the people coming to media houses and say they're economists.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Musa. Hello.
Hello. Good morning.
Morning.
My name is Ajola Victor from Busalagi.
Okay.
You see, there are two schools of thought on borrowing. The first school of thought believe, especially in Nigeria, believe that we must borrow. That is, we must borrow. Some people, then the second school of thought believe we don't need to borrow because we have enough money. This country is blessed, and they believe that we are making more money from the removal of something. But the question is, all this money we are borrowing, are this money or is this money being transparently utilized or used? Some people believe they may borrow money and they don't see any result. They believe the borrowed money are just that government is just wasting this money. So therefore, that is why there is trust deficit. People don't believe whether you are borrowing genuinely to develop this country. They don't believe. So that is the problem now. Government must come out transparently and tell Nigerians this money they are borrowing, especially since the regime of Buhari, where is this money? Are they money for developmental projects or is this money going into private pockets? Thank you.
Thank you. Sorry about that. We have someone here. Let's listen to what he has to say.
My name is Silverdale. I'm here in Asoko. For me, the election there in Anambra. In fact, let me first of all congratulate the new chairman because there is so much improvement. Look at what happened at the Edo election. What was it? How was the election? Well, look at this. By 6 o'clock, almost every station has been uploaded to the island. What else you need? Let's hope that this will continue. Toludo, I congratulate you. INEC chairman, I congratulate you. Nigerians, let us believe that from now on, things will be better than what they were before.
All right, thank you. Hello?
Hello.
Yes.
What I want to say is they are telling us that the economy is growing, but it's not reflecting in our life. You understand? It's only growing in the paper. What are they saying? The economic is going, you cannot pay salary. The economic is going, doctor, not lecturer. That's a long strike. Oh, I didn't see anything bad in borrowing. But what are you borrowing for? You know, are you borrowing to improve the economy? Are you borrowing to improve the life of people? Are you borrowing to consume? I think they should tell us. What we're supposed to hear. That's what I think. God bless Nigeria.
All right, thank you, Donatus, for your contribution. It is 8:52 a.m. Nigerian time. Forgive me. I don't know. I was trying to take us back. But the conversation is focused on all the recent happenings and how it may most likely impact the Nigerian economy, from the U.S. threat to, of course, the borrowing threshold that has been exceeded. It's over 55% right now, as it is both domestic and foreign debts. So, which way for the economy is what we're interrogating. We will have more of this conversation, but let's take this caller first. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Morning.
Yes, I want to comment on the newspaper report.
What newspaper reports?
Okay, I thought the paper report is still on the review of newspaper.
We were done with that a long time ago. We always start our newspaper report or review from 6:15 to about 7:15.
I wanted to comment about the CAN issue or religious issue.
Don't worry, listen in tomorrow, and I'm sure you'll be able to make your comment. Right now, we're on another conversation. Thank you so much. Okay, yes, let's see. What messages do we have here? I think this should be a quick voice note. Right, let's listen to this.
Hello, my name is MU. I'm calling from Jabi Airport Junction, and from my point, I feel, is it that you in Nigeria Info don't have any other person to talk about this? We are just repeating the same thing with the same man. You guys talked about this with this same man, where I feel you're supposed to bring another person to look from his own perspective. Looking at this same thing with the same man like 2-3 times like this, we wouldn't have to see other opinion, because I'm just like listening to the same thing I listened from him the other time. There's no changes entirely. Thank you.
Okay, what other time is that? You're speaking vaguely. I don't know. I can't remember inviting Mr. Folari in recent times. It's been a while. I think early this year, I had him on, Sunny Side, and not even on Morning Crossfire. So, except if one of my colleagues invited him, but not me, by all means. So, yes, thank you though for the observation. But at this point in time, I have to go because it's time for a commercial. Then afterwards, we'll have the news at the top of the hour, 9 o'clock. It's been a pleasure being here. I'll see you guys tomorrow. God bless you. My name is Swat.
The banger these days, not creamy rich.